Gretchen Wilson exploded into the country music scene in 2004 with her smash hit Redneck Woman. By the way, people, if you check it out on YouTube, it's at 10 million freaking views. It has since scored 3 #1 albums, Grammys, ACM, CMA, AMA awards, and more. Her first book, Redneck Woman, Stories from My Life, became a New York Times bestseller. Gretchen Wilson will be in concert at the Tropicana Showroom in Atlantic City on Friday, July 5th. Berman will be there. And I'm all jacked up, and I have Gretchen Wilson on the Marc Berman Show. I'm serious today. Well, hey, welcome, Gretchen. Welcome to the Marc Berman Show.
Thank you so much for having me.
So listen, what was it like growing up in Pocahontas, Illinois?
Oh, probably a lot like growing up in Iowa. It was flat, and a lot of cornfields, a lot of pig farms, and just nothing to do on the weekends except for hang out with your buddies and go fishtail in your car down a gravel road somewhere, or sit out by a bonfire and get one of your older friends to go buy a 12-pack of Old Milwaukee. You know, there was just absolutely nothing to do except for sit around and listen to music and talk about your dreams and talk about getting out of there.
Old Milwaukee. Love it. So we drank Stegmeyer in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
So who influenced you? I mean, where did this come from? Did you have this from when you were born? Was this in your heart? Was this a flame, this music that you do?
I would say that most of the influence came, definitely really early on. My grandparents, they listened to a lot of traditional country music, and like Hank Williams and Waylon Jennings and Willie Nelson and Loretta Lynn, and I'll tell you what, they introduced me to Patsy Cline, and it was just all over. I just was so inspired by her and her life and her story and her voice. And I'd say a lot of girls that ended up going to Nashville and trying to become country singers were inspired by Patsy Cline, but then I got the influence of the rock and roll bug from my Uncle Vern. He brought in the AC/DC and Loverboy and all of that kind of stuff, and Charlie Daniels Band, and so I guess I've kind of been who I am all the way back since I was about 6 or 7 years old.
And Patsy Cline, true American music royalty, hands down. Amazing. Nobody can argue that. Let's talk about this. What was your first guitar?
It was a Takamine, and I had to buy it on credit and make payments on it. A little place in Collinsville, Illinois called Swing City Music.
So you're too young, but most people, their first guitar was a Sears Silvertone. But you're too young for that.
Well, I always knew I wanted to be a singer, but I kind of had to find my way through becoming a player and becoming a songwriter. I didn't know that I could do all those things until I met other people that said, "Yeah, you can. Here, just pick it up and hold it like this and make this chord." And then, before I knew it, I was playing guitar. But that came so much later for me. And the same with songwriting. I had made a living being a singer, a front singer for a rock band and a country band for a lot of years before I ever realized that I had something to say. And it wasn't until I moved to Nashville that I realized that I was a writer too.
I see you with different guitars. I want to go back to this for 1 second. You got an Epiphone Les Paul. It's pretty cute. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's in your picture. But what are you using now on stage? What's your preferred? Because in all your videos where I see you, whether it's concert or this, you seem to play different guitars all the time.
My main guitars that I use on stage is I have a Dove in Flight that was built for me, and that's what I usually play when I'm playing acoustic, and then I play a Les Paul, just like you said, on the electric stuff. But I'm really just a rhythm player. I have a small band. It's just a 5-piece band, and so anytime I have a guitar on, it's just because we really truly just sonically need it on stage for that song. I'm really just, like I said, I'm kind of just playing like a percussion almost on the guitar. I leave the real hard fancy stuff up to the real players.
Yeah, but you know what? You said small band. No, you got a huge sound. Honestly, you really do. You're exciting on stage. You truly are.
Well, that's just years of being an entertainer. I've been on stage and trying to please an audience since I was 14 years old. So I'm going to be 40 this month. So that's a lot of years of experience.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm going to be 40 on June 26th. I'm pretty excited about it, actually. I know a lot of women would be crying over it, but
wow.
I feel like women just totally get better every year. We just get better with age. We definitely get smarter, and we definitely get prettier on all sides, inside and out. So I'm looking forward to aging. It doesn't bother me.
Hey, listen, I love this Right on Time CD. I'm serious. I think it's awesome. You know what it does from your other stuff? I think this is truly showing your versatility. You're always put into a country kind of a category, but you know what? I would give you more country rock. I'd put you more with the Charlie Daniels and stuff like that.
I appreciate that.
And this CD, and to my listeners, it's available wherever legal digital downloads are found. And I'd say record stores, but there really aren't any record stores left.
Or they can go to GretchenWilson.com.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you can download it.
I appreciate you saying that, too, because that was my vision, finally being able to produce a record by myself and do what I wanted with it. I really wanted it to, everything else that comes out of Nashville, they're always so concerned about it matching from first song to last song. You can tell it was the same players. You can tell it was the same attitude. You can tell sometimes it was the same writers. And I feel like that's the wrong way to treat it. You have to treat each song like it's its own little piece of work, and we ended up with a record that really just takes you on kind of a musical journey, you know, through all different kinds of styles and inspirations, and I appreciate you saying that, because that means a lot to me to hear that somebody out there is hearing that.
Well, people use iPods, and they use iPods to get a variety, so they may not want the same type of music. If they download your CD, they're going to get Southern Rock with The Well Runs Dry, and then they're going to see your soulful side with Right on Time, and Still Rollin' is again another category. So yeah, it's a great CD.
Thank you.
And I commend you on it. Hey, listen, you know, you have a Twitter page. You got 81,000 Twitter followers. But you're only following one thing back. One. Now, hold on. One. Now, it's not music.
No.
Okay.
It's
you
baseball.
know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, baseball.
No, it's not baseball. It's the Cardinals.
Right. Well, you know, I mean, I grew up in Southern Illinois, and everybody hears Illinois and they think, oh, Chicago, you know. But really, there should have been a North and a South Illinois. It's just such a huge difference in the kinds of people that are in Southern Illinois, and that's why I can call myself a redneck. People are like, what do you mean redneck? She's a Yankee, you know. And it's like, well, if you hang out in Southern Illinois a little bit, you'll see what I'm talking about. You might as well be in Kentucky, you know, because it's totally different than Northern Illinois. And growing up where I did, I was only about 45 miles east of the Mississippi River and you know, St. Louis and the Cardinals. So yeah, you know, I just grew up watching and listening to, you know, I listened to KMOX AM radio with my grandpa, and we'd listen to Jack Buck and Mike Shannon call all of the Cardinal games all the way back in the Whitey Herzog days, you know, and so it's a pastime of mine that I can't let go of. That's probably my favorite thing to do when I have a day off, is I come back into town here and I get out there on my lawnmower and turn on my ball game and my headphones and just get a nice cold beer and just mow grass and make pretty straight lines. And, you know, it's kind of therapeutic for somebody like me that's always traveling.
That's right. Yeah. I agree with you, but I just thought it was funny that you're only following that. Hey, listen, in 2013, you are one busy girl. You're doing 3 CDs. Right on Time. You have the Under the Covers, which is your rock covers, and I guess that's when you were given that AC/DC and exposed to that as a kid. And I guess you wanted to bring that out a little bit with this, right? Is that what this is?
Yeah, we you know, the band guys and I, the band that I tour with and that I travel with, they're the guys that I'm using in the studio on all these records, and we just kind of started talking about how cool it would be to kind of just pay tribute to all of the artists that made us who we were, you know, thinking back when we were kids and, you know, back to our glory days when we were sitting around and trying to figure out what we were going to do with our lives. These are the bands that kind of, you know, that we looked up to. Like, you know, they were our stars. They were like the reason that we wanted to become rock stars someday. And you know, I just think that we wanted to pay our respects and just to show people, you know, that we haven't forgotten that kind of music, and it's really who we are.
I love that. You still coming out with the Christmas CD in the fall?
Yeah, I still have to sing it. We got all the tracks done while it was still snowing outside, but then we kind of got busy and started traveling and touring. So I think I'm scheduled on my birthday week. I'm going to be in the studio sweating and singing Christmas songs.
Okay. All right, and then you'll take a vacation. Listen, you formed your own, and we only have a couple seconds left. This is Gretchen Wilson. We're talking to Gretchen coming to Atlantic City. You formed your own record company, Redneck Records, in 2009. Did you do this to show your self-expression, to have more freedom, and to be more creative with your music?
Yeah, I did it for a lot of reasons, and that would definitely be one of them. I can also say, too, that I guess just being who I am or where I'm from or how I was built, but I was always uncomfortable being with a giant label like that. There's so many people, so many departments, so many floors of employees that you may never meet that are all working on your career, working on your business, and it just always felt too big and just a little bit out of control for me. And so, for me, I think I've always wanted to get into a position where I could be involved in every aspect of what's going on with my business.
I see a difference, and your creativity is truly coming out with the stuff that you've produced on Redneck Records. Where do you vacation?
Home.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I actually do. I don't go anywhere. I don't know if you get into any of this or not, but I'm a Cancer, which means I'm a homebody. I like staying home, and this is like the perfect retreat for me. I build my life around here with my daughter and my family, and just to be able to spend a couple of days off and not have to work or make music and just sit out here on the back porch and enjoy my dogs and barbecue, that's vacation to me.
And where are you living right now?
I'm out in Wilson County, Tennessee. It's just outside of Nashville, just out in the country a little bit. I'm out here, and I think Charlie Daniels lives out here in Wilson County, and so does Aaron Tippin. Just a few of us, just us real rednecks.
Yeah, but not bad company. No way. That's great. Okay, final question. Who's on your iPod? I know you're traveling a lot. You're flying. You strap on the iPod on the plane. Who's on there?
Oh, you'd be surprised. I listen to a lot of different kinds of music. I might be in the mood to listen to Billie Holiday, old jazz. I might be in the mood to listen to some classic rock and roll, but I rarely listen to the contemporary country music. That's probably the one kind of music that I stay away from. I'm always I try to be I try to make my own waves. The last thing I want to do is start following like everybody else, it seems like, in Nashville is doing. So I try to not listen to what's happening on country radio, but every other kind of music. I'm up for anything. My daughter's 12 years old, so obviously I've got a little bit of the One Direction European pop rock influence
Absolutely.
going on, but yeah,
absolutely.
I'm trying to stay away from that, though.
And actually, Nashville and country music has actually turned into today's pop music.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly, that's really what it is. Yeah.
It has.
Gretchen Wilson, you are awesome. You're beautiful. You've got a big voice. You got an amazing band, and we'll be able to experience that here in Atlantic City at the Tropicana. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster. Friday, July 5th. You know how big that weekend's going to be? I mean, that's a huge weekend here in Atlantic City.
It's always a big time in Atlantic City. We always have a great time when we come.
I can't wait to see it. Gretchen Wilson on the Marc Berman Show. Gretchen, hold the line. I'm going to talk to you. And for my listeners, we have to take a break, but here's a threat. Berman will be right back.